The economic damage caused by climate change will outweigh the financial costs of government intervention. We can act now to avert the disaster and both protect and improve our economy.
Over the next few decades, in the United States alone, climate change could cost over $150 billion per year of lost wages due to loss of outdoor jobs, $150 billion per year due to heat-related and poor air quality deaths, and $100 billion per year in coastal property losses.
If climate change is left unchecked, by the end of the century, the U.S. economy can contract by up to 10%.
Climate change will have an even bigger impact globally, causing serious global security risks and disruptions in agriculture leading to famine and drought.
In a United Nations report last fall, the potential economic cost of even a modest rise in global temperatures was estimated to be as much as $69 trillion.
There has been a proposal in Congress to address these concerns called the Green New Deal, but the Republican Party as well as many Democrats have criticized the plan.
American Action Forum, a conservative think tank, estimated the cost of the Green New Deal to be upwards of $93 trillion. However, this exaggerated claim was based off of assumptions about how the plan would be implemented.
And even if the program is expensive to implement, climate change is extremely serious, and it requires substantial action to address. The economic damage from climate change will outweigh the cost of the program. But, even with the serious challenge of climate change, and the extensive and immediate action required to address it, we can use this as an opportunity to improve our economy instead of just prolonging the inevitable.
Improvements to U.S. infrastructure will benefit our economy in a number of different ways. A modernized smart grid will help reduce the cost of energy. A Stanford University civil and environmental engineering professor, Mark Jacobson, estimated that eliminating the electricity sector's carbon emissions would avoid $265 billion in annual U.S. damages beginning in 2050. The proposal to modernize current and future building projects has been heavily criticized by conservatives, but inefficient heating and cooling contributes to energy waste, and it is estimated that the United States wastes up to 58% of its energy.
By modernizing our infrastructure and investing in green energy, we can create new and lasting job opportunities for millions of Americans.
Under the Green New Deal, new energy jobs will emerge in manufacturing and maintaining wind and solar products and services.
The ITUC estimates that over 15 million new jobs could be created in as few as 5 years with only a minor investment in the green economy.
To some extent, this growth is already occurring. Even without a Green New Deal, green energy jobs are projected to have impressive growth. Solar panel installation and wind service technician are projected to be the two fastest growing occupational fields over the next 10 years.
To both support these initiatives and bring millions of unemployed Americans back into the workforce, a portion of the Green New Deal proposes the concept of a job guarantee, with the changing economy providing new opportunities for the economically displaced.
Alternatively, not implementing the Green New Deal would not only prevent these jobs from being created, but it would also destroy existing jobs. For example, as climate change reduces arable land across the world, many jobs in the U.S. agricultural industry will be lost.
In the future, climate change will be one of the key issues in national defense. In a 2015 report, the Department of Defense stated that global climate change will aggravate problems such as poverty, social tensions, environmental degradation, ineffectual leadership, and weak political institutions that threaten stability in a number of countries. In some cases, the more deadly effects of climate change can already be seen.
David Titley, a retired admiral who set up the Navy's task force on climate change, stresses that climate is part of a chain of events that can lead to conflict. He uses the events surrounding Syria's record-breaking drought last decade as an example.
Assad said, we're gonna be self-sufficient in food. And the way they did that is they basically overused their existing water. And then things nothing to do with climate happened. The Iraq War in 2003 dumps 1 million people into the cities, primarily Iraqi refugees.
When drought struck the country again, the situation worsened.
Remember, they used up all the reserves. So the farmers now, about 750,000 of them, went into the cities because they had nothing. This is not a place that takes care of its population. So you have ended up through a very complex series of events with a lot of insurgencies and a very fertile ground for ISIS.
Addressing climate change now could prevent costly conflict in the future and allow for more leeway in defense program expenditures. Investing in domestic green energy also reduces our dependence on foreign energy and provides the U.S. more options when implementing foreign policy.
Climate change will have drastic effects on the U.S. healthcare system and human health globally. In the United States, the CDC has drawn clear links between a hotter climate and poor air quality, exacerbating asthma and cardiovascular disease. According to a report submitted to the EPA, the rise in average temperature and the longer warm seasons associated with climate change carry greatly increased risk of pathogenic and allergenic diseases and could result in a rise in mass outbreaks. Globally, the situation is even more dire. The World Health Organization has stated that between 2030 and 2050, climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year from malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress. All of these issues are compounded by the possibility of serious disruption in agriculture and the severe food insecurity that could result.
Critics of the Green New Deal point out that increased taxation will be necessary to implement the plan. This is likely the case. The program costs money, and that initial funding has to come from somewhere. But the proposed taxes are on the wealthiest Americans, and averting catastrophe will be less expensive in the long run. If we do nothing, then our taxes will invariably increase to help pay for rising expenses caused by climate change in the future. This is why doing nothing is not an option. We have to accept some cost now, or we will live with the disastrous consequences.
Climate change is a serious issue that has the potential to ruin our economy and directly affect the lives of millions of Americans. The Green New Deal has been proposed to address all of these issues, not just the economy, inequality, or climate change individually. To save our planet and our current way of life, we need to act immediately to address the threat that we are facing and create a long-term solution.